Recently, we made the decision to leave a team we played 2 seasons with. We were presented with an opportunity to work out with Cy-Fair Elite in Houston, and from there, we determined that the program would be a much better fit for Kennedy based on a few reasons. As a parent, one of the hardest decisions you'll ever have to make is choosing to walk away from something and knowing the time frame to do it in. A team, a group of families, a coach your child knows, it's not easy, and it's definitely not a decision that you take lightly. And here's something that I've learned along the way. Sometimes you can stay in something too long. You stay because it's comfortable. You stay because of the relationships. You stay because you don't want to disappoint anyone. But in doing that, you can miss opportunities that were meant for your child. Opportunities that require movement, growth, and sometimes letting go. And the truth is, as parents, we don't always know exactly what that time is. There's no perfect signal, no clear moment where everything just lines up and tells you, okay, now it's time to go. A lot of times it's a feeling. It's watching your child and realizing they're not being stretched the way they used to be. It's seeing that the environment is no longer matching their effort, their energy, or their goals. And that can be hard to admit. Because leaving means change. It means uncertainty. It means risking the comfort you built for the possibility of something greater. But part of parenting, especially in sports, is learning to recognize when staying is no longer serving your child's growth and having the courage to act on it. Because sometimes the opportunity isn't where you are, it's waiting on the other side of the decision you're afraid to make. But at the end of the day, this isn't about comfort, it's about responsibility. The decision isn't personal. It's not a knock on the coach or the players or the families. There's respect there always. But sometimes you have to be honest and recognize your goals and when they no longer align. Every family has a different vision for their child, and that's okay. The key is being real about what your vision actually is. And in our situation, this wasn't just my decision, it was hers too. She's the one on the court. She's the one putting in long days, the training, the work when nobody's watching. So she deserves a voice in that process. My husband and I, we're the guides. We protect. We make the final call, but we also listen, because while we may know my child better than anybody, she knows her body. She knows how she feels in those moments, when she's being challenged, when she's not, when something feels right, and when it doesn't. Some people may say, well, she's only 12. Why does she get a say? And my answer is simple, because she's the one living it. This is her dream. This is her career, not mine. And we're not handing over the responsibility. We're teaching her how to think, how to evaluate, and how to be a part of the decisions that impact her growth. That's also part of development, not just as an athlete, but as a person too. For us, it still comes down to growth. Winning games by 20 or 30 points over and over again against the same competition isn't actually competition, it's comfort. And comfort doesn't build elite athletes. Growth comes from being challenged. It comes from being pushed, from facing players who can match you or even outplay you. It comes from those moments where your child has to dig deeper, think faster, and fight harder. That's what real competition looks like. If your goal is to develop at a high level, then you have to be willing to step into high-level environments. That means tougher tournaments, stronger opponents, and yes, sometimes tougher losses. But those moments are where the real development happens. You don't grow by staying where you're already the best. As parents, our job isn't to protect our kids from discomfort. Our job is to prepare them for what comes next. And sometimes that means making decisions that not everyone will understand. It might be questioned, but this journey isn't about keeping everybody else comfortable. It's about putting your child in the best position to grow. We're not chasing easy wins. We're chasing long-term development. Because in the end, it's not about the scoreboard today. It's about who our kids are becoming as players and as people. And growth always lives right outside of comfort. And I have to say this because it matters. One of the things I admire most about Kennedy is her mindset. She's a go-getter. She's a dog. She's not the type to lay down when things get hard. She's the type to come back again and again and again. She is relentless, and her high motor makes her dangerous. When she gets challenged, she doesn't back away from it. She leans into it. And that type of athlete is rare. I don't know many kids her age willing to put in the kind of work that she does. There are days she goes to practice, gives everything, comes home, still trains, still works, still pushes herself. She's still an academic scholar. She still makes straight A's. And that's not something you teach overnight. She pushes herself. That's in her. Her mentality, her beast mode, it's different. And it's not about being better than everyone else. It's about being better than she was yesterday. And she chases that every single day. So as a parent, when you see that kind of drive, that kind of hunger, you have the responsibility to feed it, not limit it. You don't put a kid like that in a situation where she can easily coast. You put her in environments that match her energy, that challenge her, and that's going to force her to rise even higher. Because when you have a kid who refuses to quit and keeps showing up, who keeps working when nobody's watching, you owe it to them to make sure they're in a place where they have to work and that work actually matters. And that's exactly why decisions like this aren't just hard, they're necessary. And just to be fair, we communicated our concerns several times about the quality of tournaments, about playing the same teams. At one point, it seemed like we were just all traveling to the same tournaments, and also about Kennedy's growth moving forward. Finally, I want to say this. I mentioned before in another video, our standards are just a little higher. They're just a little bit different. Some families are perfectly comfortable doing things the way they've always done. And some people tell their kids, just go out there and have fun and go out there, and as long as you try your best. We don't communicate that in our house. And Kennedy speaks our language. Look at her. You think this girl just wants to go out there and have fun? The only thing that I ask is that we recognize this is only about feeding this wild beast that lives inside of my child. She is completely unhinged when it comes to sports. And so this is about doing what's best for Kennedy. And at the end of the day, she deserves that. And so I ask this of you. Please continue to follow her journey. Continue to support her. Right now, she's been sidelined with an annoying MCL injury. She's grinding through some serious rehab, but she is putting the work in day after day, even when it's frustrating and slow. And it's hard for her to sit back and not being able to work the way she likes to. But that's her style. She doesn't quit, even when the odds feel like they're against her. But mark my words, when it's time for her to come back, prepare to be blown away. This is a kid who doesn't just play the game. She changes it. She's going to impress you at every turn with her skill, her mindset, and her relentless drive. I'm not just saying that because I'm her mom. Go watch her highlights and see for yourself. This isn't just about basketball. This is about showing what true effort, focus, and determination look like at any age. And Kennedy, she's just getting started.